With the commish, Nate.
All right, I'm going to be absolutely honest with everyone here as Press Pass Live gets rolling again. I love fitted hats, but I have a very small shaped head, and I was in Lids for the first time in 15 years. I used to be at Lids every weekend buying hats. I loved hats. Not every weekend, but I used to buy hats a lot. And I tried on 50 hats to find the right size. And something happened from the time I bought this hat at Lids to the time I showed it. It's 8 sizes too big, and I don't know why. And it's driving me absolutely nuts. But you didn't show up to do that. You showed up to talk about Madden 26. Let me get all my buddies in here. Fellas, how are we doing tonight?
Doing great.
Doing well. How are you guys?
Well, it is good to see everybody, even though we got this awkward beginning here. We got Trey, who just finished wrapping up some chicken nuggets or not chicken nuggets, some chicken wings and some, I don't know, he's still chomping. You may see him still eating on these chicken wings and these wedges. We got Mr. Big Herd over here chomping down on some pizza, some potato wedges. What we got going on over here?
Pizza.
We got some pizza and an uncentered camera. He refuses to leave this camera alone. I don't know how he does it, but every time I look away, he bumps it and it's uncentered again. He just can't do it. It's driving me nuts over here. And Maniac slurping down some Sonic. My guy Randy's being good, though. He's got water. I'm doing nothing because I'm all finished. Guys, let's talk Madden 26. It is upon us. It is time to start talking about the launch of Season 116 as we got rolling here tonight. The invites went out, and we got our first game, and it wasn't pretty. I love Nice Hunger, but it was a bad game for him. It went bad for him, really bad. Let's talk 2-minute drill here. What are some things that we wanted to see Madden 26 do better than Madden 25? And so far, it's early, but do you think they got it? They missed it? What are you thinking? Why or why not? Is that thing either working or not working? Randy, we're going to get started with you, and after that, it's a conversation. So stop this pausing. I don't want to talk on top of one. We've been doing this show too long. Just talk. Randy, go.
I think last Madden, the thing I was most disappointed with gameplay-wise was man coverage just felt like it was god-awful no matter how good your corners were. And I feel like it's got a lot better this Madden. It almost feels like last Madden you had to run zone. In this Madden, I feel like zone coverage is nowhere near as good as man. I don't know if I'm the only one experiencing that, but I've definitely enjoyed that switch up.
Yeah, on the zone aspect, Nate can tell you point well. His zone coverage did pretty well against me in the test league. One thing I was hoping
we were playing
for
in a monsoon of a snowstorm, so
true. But still, it played well. Guys were reacting and whatnot in their zones like they probably should. One thing I was hoping for was improved on the blocking aspect of things. I felt like a lot of the size mismatches, like you get a safety against the line or a guard or something, and the safety would just easily make it by. It feels like now if you get those mismatches, that safety's getting put in the dirt and you're getting free space.
I think overall it's improved. I still wanted to see more stuff from from the franchise, like things added and stuff. I was a little disappointed with some of the highlight stuff. I mean, that was something I was looking forward to. But overall, I think the game has improved from 25. But hopefully, tongue in cheek that they'll leave it alone. Don't make a bunch of changes to the sliders. I mean, on their side, it just wrecks everything, and just let us get the game where it's supposed to be, and let us do the adjustments on our ends.
I think for me, the biggest thing that I've noticed is quarterback play. And if you don't have like the quarterback that has the tangibles and he's lower rated, you're going to feel that a little bit more. I think for me, I like that aspect because like having a lower rated quarterback, you shouldn't be able to like compete with Mahomes or Josh Allen or Burrow. For me, like I had JJ McCarthy last Madden all but one season, and I did well. But this year, in the few games that I played, I feel like JJ is not the same quarterback at all. Some of those guys make throws, but they also have a lot more air in their throws as well.
I don't know if it's the hotel lighting or what's going on, but Big Hurt's got these big, beautiful blue eyes here tonight. And I'm feeling like I need to swipe right over here. What up, Zoe? What up, Charles? Thank you guys for hanging out with us, man. We're just getting back in the grind here. I think for me, it was just the overall player movement, and I wanted wear and tear. I was like, please give us wear and tear. So I think that's all working really well. You've already heard my review of Madden 26. I think gameplay, they smashed it out of the park for what we have, for the way this game is designed. It is animation driven. Whatever this physics-based animation combo thing is that we've got, whatever, love it, hate it. For what we've got, it's the best that it's ever been. And I think, as Maniac said, leave it alone. Please don't touch it. Don't mess with it. Leave it alone. And so far, they haven't. We've been out over a week now, and there's been no crazy updates coming out. No one's super complaining from, the lampshades about something crazy going on. So hopefully they will leave it alone and we can have the game that we are all enjoying. So let's talk about what is bad. I did this on my preview, the bad, the good, the great. I want to do that here. Madden 26, where is it kind of missing the mark here? Maniac, I'm going to start with you because you're like the king of what misses the mark in these games. Already, we've had our first delete and reinstall, and we're not even in the preseason yet. So, Maniac, where's Madden 26 missing the mark for you?
Just I don't know. Sometimes I think that the game itself, it just seems like there's times where you kind of expect it to play a certain way and it doesn't. And I don't know if it's by design or I understand I really do like the points of like the weather and stuff, but I almost feel like I think a couple guys I may have played. Randy might have been one of them that we played in a snowstorm or a rainstorm or whatever, and it seemed like my guys were on the road and they dropped every pass that came to their, and I expect that to kind of happen, but on the other end of that, the home team was making every catch, so it just seems like sometimes it's a little bit hit and miss, I guess. But that's one thing that Madden and EA Sports games have always been notorious for is the games just don't play consistent, and I think that's where they drop the ball. I think a lot in the design or whatever. It's not consistent across the board. It doesn't play to that extent every game or in this situation. both teams should have been struggling because it was a monsoon. It looked like it was in the middle of a hurricane. But there's just things like that I think that they struggle with the design of the game, and whether that's by accident or they didn't intend for it to be that way, but it's there and it's noticeable. And I think probably the further you go along and the more games you play, you'll probably start to notice it too.
I did tune it down just a hair to kind of take the edge off, so I haven't played one since I've tuned it a little bit. I also wanted to say Maniac's rocking the custom-made Cardinals OMFL gear, which is going to really suck when he gives the Cardinals up for like another team or something like that. Like he's going to have all this gear he can't wear anymore. But D. Wayne said in the chat, Maniac has sounded like he was going to break his control of the past few games. I've watched way too early for that, Maniac. So Mr. Maniac is passionate about these games, and I absolutely understand. Where's Madden 26 missing the mark for the rest of you guys?
I think for me, the biggest thing that I would say is two things. I like the layouts and the custom graphics and stuff inside the franchise, but I just feel like it's kind of like a cosmetic, shake it up, give a new look, but there's not like any of the new like draft stuff, or it's all kind of the same. And I think we've touched base on that a little bit. But the thing that I would say that probably they missed the mark the most is the one animation that was in college football that drove me nuts, and I was kind of hoping that they would have left it out of Madden, is where the receiver like jumps up, gets hit in the back, and he looks like I don't even know how to explain it, but he like gets bent in half backwards and the ball goes flying out, and it's just like, I get like the incompletion I'm good with, but it's just the animation. It looks goofy, it looks stupid, it doesn't even look realistic, and I just don't like that for 2026. And as good as the game, some of the other things are, that animation is like really just like 10 years, 15 years too old, in my opinion. But I think that they could have done a few things, like as far as in the game, giving us a feature for the franchise. Like I said, I think the one they added, the one bucket drop, whatever quarterback thing, and I think that's a complete waste of time, in my opinion, as well.
Yeah, I will say before we get some more thoughts here, as Randy was acting out the animation, you guys couldn't see it, but I could see it as it was being talked about. I think if he got bit in half, I'd be fine with it, but it's like they barely get touched and they just dunk it behind them. I'm like, what are you doing out there? I will say I'm not going to say names because I don't know the guy. I'm just getting to know him. Seems like a really awesome dude. I'm super humbled that he's in our community and checking us out. But we do have, and I could be wrong about this, I may be misinformed, but the way I understand it, we do have a Madden dev in our server now and checking out the OMFL. So who knows? Maybe he stumbles upon some of this and takes some of these notes upwards the train. So I think we got Trey and Bronco Man. Where are we missing the mark with Madden 26?
My biggest thing so far, it's not so much in terms of the actual gameplay versus the other user. They made some of those training camp things this year so difficult. Like, it's one thing to have that target passing thing that we had where you had to like hit the receiver, but now you have to do the drop bucket pass thing. That's a challenge, but at least there they give you 2 skill points if you get the goal instead of just 1. But like the red zone receiving drill is annoying. You don't know your quarterback's going to hit you in the target or if he's going to throw it to the sideline. Like he's, trying to pitch a golf ball from the green to the sandbox, whatnot, or vice versa. And then just another thing is the DB drill. We got 1,500 points for an interception last year. Now you're not even really valuing getting the interception in the drill because it's worth the same as getting a pass or breaking up the pass. So just little frustrating things on those 2 aspects of the training camp this year.
I haven't done it yet, but that one was already hard. Now they've taken away the bonus of the interception. It feels like it's going to be impossible. The Sacred Chicken Strip, what up? Thank you for checking out the stream. I think that's very, in line with what we're doing here. As Trey reaches down for another little chicken wing there. Mr. Bronco Man, where are we missing the mark in Madden 26?
I think when I saw the question, I first wanted to talk about run blocking, and everybody's talked about that. But I'm going to go a different route. This has been a problem with EA Games Madden for so long, and it's not gameplay related, but it's just for like user friendliness. It's so annoying. The menus are so slow. Then it's 2026. Why does it take 5 seconds to tab over? Like, it's so unnecessary. Like, it's the easiest thing to fix, and they just don't fix it. That's my gripe.
Yep. I would second that. I think the menus are terrible, especially when you brag that they were going to be better. They're not better. Maybe like if we put stopwatches on them, they're better. They just don't feel good at all. They just don't feel good. I don't like them. I wish that they were much better. I'm getting the finger over here, and that's not a statement I thought I'd say.
A YouTuber I watched that was part of the whole early access stuff had talked with the developer, and that is supposed to be in the first patch.
Really? Well, that's...
Yes.
As we all hold our breath.
Snake goes radio silence.
You went dead.
Now he's giving us the finger.
It was the finger that did it.
The
Magical fingers. No.
It's the finger poke of doom.
Trey, you broke it.
I was going to tell you guys that that little wide receiver training thing, I did figure out a little trick to it.
Oh, do tell.
At least got silver.
I can get gold, but it's just, I had to like restart like 8 different times because the quarterback throws it out of bounds for whatever reason.
Yeah, you just can't. I figure if I had more time, it would have taken burst and get it to where there's about a little over a second left, and then turn towards those zones, and the quarterback will put the ball in there.
Gotcha.
So that took me. And if you really work it, you can get some gold out of it.
Well, since Press Pass is broken because Nate's gone audio silence. Hi, everybody.
How about now? You got me now? Y'all still don't have me now? Everybody else has got me, but y'all don't have me. Hold on one second. How about now? Do y'all have me now? Y'all still don't have me now. What happened? I don't know what happened here. Ah, my goodness. Hello, hello?
Hear you.
Try that again.
We can't hear you.
Oh my God. I have no clue what happened. This is what happens when you try to adjust a mic while you're using it. Things go haywire. So Maniac, every time you get mad, you want to throw it all out the window. I've been doing this for 10 years and it still happens to me. So it just is what it is. I have no clue what just happened there. The chat's making fun of me. You guys are making fun of me. It's good, Trey, that they were going to have that in the first update. That goes along to my bad. The entire CFM is half-baked. I don't even know if I'd say it's half-baked. It's like they turned on the oven and didn't even let it preheat, stuck it in for 2 minutes when it's supposed to stay in for 30 minutes, and pulled it out and went, why is it still frozen? Well, you didn't follow any of the instructions, so it's still broken. It's little things like what you said, Trey. The menus are going to be patched. Cool. Whatever. The Superstar X Factor abilities were not updated in game. So the language doesn't match what supposedly from a dev does not match what is really in the game, which is no longer 100% guaranteed. It's now more like a 50-50 shot, or a little bit more than a 50-50 shot when you get X Factor and superstar abilities. That's not upgraded. The traits completely broke, completely busted, make no sense at all. Even how you add them, and like, what owner would add undisciplined to their like, none of it makes sense. It just all feels half baked. And it's disappointing because they hit it out of the park with the gameplay. I feel like the game was not tested enough by enough people. Maybe there's a reason behind all of that, but in my opinion, again, not a criticism. It just was half baked, and that's really disappointing when you've done such a great job everywhere else. So that was one of the things that I think they've done really bad. So what does Madden 26 do good? Mr. Big Hurt, I'm coming to you first and putting you on the spot. What do you think Madden 26 does well? Oh, no.
They gave us a game that has primarily updated rosters, good graphics.
We're missing a Canadian quarterback for Priest, so.
They gave us new plays.
I can tell Big Hurt is already a fan. I think gameplay, they did that well. Like, that's really good. I've got no complaint. It's fun. I want to play it, and I haven't played in like 4 or 5 days, and I'm itching to play again. Trey and I might play tonight, depending on how much later we go, but I'm itching to play the game again. And I think that's anything that can be said for a game, is that you're looking to play it again. That's being said about Battlefield 6 right now. The beta's gone, and people are like, man, I miss playing that game. It was that much fun. Now, look, in 6 months, are we still having fun? I don't know, but I'm having fun now, and I think that that's okay. I think the coaching tree thing was a much better way to approach that whole coaching tree. Assistant coach is like much better execution. It's still the first attempt, and as we know, the first attempt is always not quite 100%. The second attempt is always a bit better, and I think the player movement, they've done that really, really well. Who else? What do you think that Madden 26 is doing something good?
I totally look forward to when we get to the off season and all the guys that have not made playoffs go and hire the actual NFL head coaches as their assistant or offensive and defensive coordinators.
Yeah, that's probably gonna make a bunch of rules that I got to think about, because I haven't got to dig that deeply into things. I'm a little freaked out that some of you have, though. Some of you have already dug so far into this game. It's like, wow, why? What are you doing? What up, Charles? What else we got?
To add to the coaching tree thing, I think that when doing your weekly strategy and how you have different little things that go into that, and it adds stuff to your playbooks. Because I remember I didn't know it at first. I just kind of simmed through it. I was playing like an offline franchise game, and before we had a test league up, and it added a 4-2-5 or something to my playbook. I was like, I didn't put this in there, and then I kept noticing that it was in there only in that league, and then I figured out. I was like, huh. So you can kind of scheme, like, you want to have more blitzes for a guy that you think that's going to work against, or you can have more strategic input into just outside of your playbook. It'll put some things in there. So I think that's pretty cool.
It catches you off guard the first time it happens, though. You're like, wait, what? What is this? But I think it's a super neat idea.
And it's cool in those play sheets. It's just those plays that you get the boost in. It's not just generic, okay, you have this boost in these situations.
I agree.
I think they've done well to make sure that they're going to keep my blood pressure high.
He had to grit his teeth to say, I think that they've done this well. Oh, that was worse than Big Hurt's reaction.
No, I think the game is full of great concepts. I think that there's a lot of ideas that are really neat, really fun, that are you said it well, is that they're just half baked. I mean, that's the problem. I don't know where they're, and I've harped on this before. I don't know who they got testing these games, and I've read some things they've got people in South America or wherever, some kind of place where they're actually testing these games down there. So who knows? But I think there's a lot of ideas and there's a lot of concepts in this game that could make this game like really phenomenal. But I don't know, just like you run into stuff like the playbooks, you run into stuff like the coaching
Playbooks
trees,
are bad, I agree.
or the draft, or it's just all these things. Like we've always have these problems, and it's always like problems that persistently like continue on from season to season or Madden to Madden, and there's always that one little thing that it just keeps cropping up. So, and then you have 10 other things that get added because they've added some neat ideas, but there's problems within those. But I'm trying not to be negative Nancy. I've tried to be positive.
You've already deleted the game, brother. I don't think you can get much more negative Nancy than that.
I mean, I've got one sales pitch for EA. Hire us. We'll come test it. We'll make sure franchise works and the gameplay. That way you can transfer it over to the Mutt team and they can work on the gameplay then.
I think I said this, and I see Randy's got something. I said this on my review when I was doing it by myself last week, but there's a YouTuber, again, I don't know the guy. He might be a super nice guy. It's so easy to make judgment statements online when you don't really know people, but we all know that there's a lane on YouTube where just being super negative or super critical, right? Like that creates its own kind of YouTube lane. When I seen this human post on Twitter that he could become the creative head of EA and fix Madden in one cycle, I about spit whatever was in my mouth out, pause, and I was just like, how inflated of an ego do you have to say a YouTuber can step into EA and become the creative man? It was a lot ridiculous.
I'm not sure Jesus himself could fix it all in one cycle.
It's just like, know your lane and know your role. Just because I played this game for 30 years doesn't mean I know a flippin' note about anything of what they do. Like, it's a little ridiculous. Randy.
I was just laughing at myself. I didn't really have anything to say.
You.
I was thinking that if it was like a perfect world, they'd add some realism to the game to where like you'd get a random scenario like, oh no, your player got DUI manslaughter.
Jeez, that's a little intense. But yeah, I see what you're saying. And I could hear
the Georgia Bulldogs. Come on now.
I could hear everybody here yelling at me for not turning that off. But we used to have that back in the old Maddens. It used
the
to
Ray
be
Rice effect. Oh no, your running back has beaten his wife in the elevator and was caught on tape. Sorry, he's suspended for 6 weeks.
Yeah, they used to have career enders. Now I think they kind of still maybe 1% happen, but I'm telling you, the crocodile tears that I would get from career-ending injuries when that would happen were absolutely astonishing. All right, this one.
Or how about this? How about we add like the Micah Parsons in? Oh no, your star player has declined $40 million, and he's been seen sleeping on the trainer's table during your preseason game.
Maniac, it's tough to be a Cowboys fan, but you could be a Saints fan, so it could be worse. That was a stretch.
I'm just gonna be a Cardinals fan. The heck with it.
Haven't you guys won a playoff game since like 7?
Easy.
Oh yeah. It's not worse than being a Cowboys fan. See all these gray hairs, me and Maniac. There's a stretch. They're there.
It was a stretch to get y'all to say something good about Madden 26. So getting you to say something great about Madden 26 may be stone cold silent in here, but I think that there's a couple of things that they do really, really great. Again, I think gameplay is really, really great. I think the new movement is really, really good. The fine-tune control that they've given us, both on wear and tear and the precipitation effects, the AI for receivers is something that we've cried about here for a long time because we are a no-switch league. Like, I think they did all that really, really well, and I think the foundation for Madden 26 is solid. It's really, really good. Probably one could argue the best that we've had in decades. it's the finish work, right? Like you pay the constructor to come redo the entire kitchen. They get the cabinets in, they get the granite in, they lay the new tile, they paint it, but they don't ever come back and fix the broken light switch or do the touch-up paint or fix the crack in the wall. They didn't come finish hanging your lights or change the burnout light bulb. It's like, you didn't do the finish work here, and that's a little
Forgot to turn the water
disappointing.
back on.
So what do we think? What did Madden 26 do great?
This is where me and Maniac are going to contradict things. He didn't like it, but I like it. The fact that with the weather and stuff, the home team should have the advantage because they're going to be more used to the weather. They practice in it. They play around it. They're knowing how the effects are going to affect them. So they'll have the advantages, and I like that. And I noticed that in our game. My guys played a lot worse than the Packers did. But the Packers are used to playing in those kind of weird weather scenarios versus the Lions are indoors. They're not used to those kind of weather effects on them. So I really like that aspect of the game, whereas Maniac might not like it. I do.
Trey, I just want you to know, I don't know if you caught it, but Maniac gave you the old stink eye.
I know.
I too. Oh my goodness, I got hiccups all of a sudden. I too liked it. I just took the edge off. I didn't make major adjustments. Just took a little edge off. So we'll see.
Just trying to get the edge off so Maniac doesn't uninstall the game next time.
Listen, he's already uninstalled the game. There's no hope. I have no hopes or desires that he will finish this cycle. I don't even know if we'll make it through season 1. If we're not even to the preseason,
I may be
uninstalled,
burning.
we are in trouble.
We
I
haven't
said
even gotten to
he's
preseason
invested
yet,
for at
Nate.
least one season with a shirt and a hat.
Nate, we hadn't even gotten to the league being made yet.
I
We
know.
deleted it.
I know. I get it.
Yeah.
There's no hope.
I will say I understand the home team having an advantage, but when he's throwing for like 300, 400 yards and throwing bombs and no, I don't care. I don't care who's on the field and that kind of weather like that. You're not gonna be able to do that. Now I can understand like, if they got game plan, short passes or whatever, and those guys are used to it, making better catches. Yeah, go ahead for it. But I don't know. This didn't seem, like I said, consistent across the board. He was
Now, is it
throwing
realistic when those bombs are happening? No.
throwing streaks and completing them in that kind of rain, and my guys were dropping drags. So
In that aspect, yes, the bombs should still be a lot harder to catch, but the home team having an advantage because
Maniac.
of the weather makes sense.
Welcome to the Arizona Cardinals.
I wasn't even in Arizona
You
in that
did it to
game.
yourself.
I wasn't even in Arizona in that game.
You
man.
chose this fate.
Listen, we got to get back to what we're doing great here. We're going to be here all night, and Trey's not going to want to play. But I will also say,
Nice.
we've deleted the
I'll play.
game, and we have not played D-Money. We have not played any of these guys over there in that division. So it's all downhill from here for Maniac, unfortunately. So hopefully we can find something that he enjoys. What's this game do well, though? Great. Sorry, what's it doing great?
I'm about to throw a grenade. I'm sorry.
Grenade it.
It's not NCAA 26, and for that I'm so thankful. It is. I can't stand that game, but so there. But no, I just think it plays smoother. NCAA drives me nuts. I think I'm a little biased as well, just because I prefer the NFL over college in general. But I think that as a whole, the game plays smoother. It feels more realistic. I mean, kind of what Trey was saying with the weather. It's just like, I mean, this might be bad timing, but playing on the road in NCAA is like the most, like, whatever bad thoughts you want to say, inducing thing on the plan. Like, it just drives me insane. So Madden is not NCAA, and for that, I'm thankful that I have to spend less time playing NCAA.
But didn't you beat LSU on the road in the Deuce?
All right.
And I still don't like it.
What's something else Madden 26 does great?
He's gone into the big house and done it. He's gone into LSU and done it.
I would
I'll
say
win the chip, and I
like,
still won't like it.
Just taking what you just said, like, I mean, I'm more of a college guy, like true and true, just in like non-video game world, because I grew up around college football. I also think college football has a little different sense of passion when guys are playing, and you take out, I would say you take out the contracts, but now you have the NIL, so you can't really say you take out the contracts, but it's not to the extent of what like Parsons and all these other contracts that we've seen in the last couple of years. But I think cosmetically, college football with the stadium, the lighting, the pregame intros, like everything is so well done. But then there's things in the gameplay that I'm just like, really, you couldn't have like done that a little bit better now that you've had 2 years to produce a game. Whereas Madden, like I felt like we kept saying that, and then all of a sudden this year they produce a game like Nate said is like cosmetically like it's, I wouldn't say like it improved, but like the gameplay is so good. But then there's like other just easy things that they could have fixed. And so it's kind of like if you could take NCAA football and like take part of the cosmetic thing and then build it with the gameplay of Madden, it would almost be like a perfect game.
All right, great take. That's take of the week right there.
Yep, I agree. I think that there's definitely some like combination things that would have made almost the perfect game. I do wish Madden was a little bit faster. They said it was faster. I'm not seeing it. I do wish it was a little bit faster. Maybe not college football fast. And I also agree with the take that I've heard out there of keeping the games. They should feel different. It should not feel like, oh, I'm playing Madden college version or I'm playing, college football pro version. But still, I wish that there were a few more things that were shared there. All right, so open up the mailbag, fellas, and this is just going to be wide open for whoever wants to go first. Nicesonger says, what team or teams do you think are tooled for a good run in Madden 26 through the real-life draft? So I think he's saying, like, what teams, because of the real-life draft that just happened, will be good in Madden 26?
I think since he stumbled upon a freaking gold mine with how the Falcons drafted, they got 2 dominant pass rushers that are on rookie contracts. That's going to be far and away a heavy advantage for him. We still got, I think he's running Desmond Ridder or he's bringing somebody over. I can't remember exactly. But that's still, you got your quarterback spot. Yeah, Kyle Pitts went down in development trait, but he's still a unicorn of a weapon regardless. And then you got Drake London there and Bijan. That's like just a beautiful way.
Not to mention, he brings the Earl Lowry over.
Yeah,
exactly. Like he's got a gold mine, and I feel bad for Bird, Kevin, and Nate because that's going to be a headache and a half.
I would say another team in the same division as Bird, the Panthers. I mean, I think getting Tatoria McMillan, the 6'5" receiver, whatever, with 89 speed, just kind of has the complete package. They got ETN at running back, who's a pretty like fast running back. They went and got Jimmy Horn at receiver. I just think like a lot of that like plays well into like how Bird plays and like builds a team. And but I would say them, and then also I think, I mean, involving imports is like the leaving the imports out, because I feel like you have to kind of take what the imports bring in. Like, since he got the gold mine, but then you add Earl Lowry to that, it's just like it's almost a complete team. But I would say, I think for the cycle, I think the Browns could be an interesting team, because you got a 1-2 punch at running back. Quinshon Judkins is going to be like a power back that's got some speed, but then you got Ty Sampson, and like you put Njoku, and then you put some of the other guys there. Like, and I think he'll, with his imports and stuff, that's going to be an interesting squad as well.
Well, I wanted to finish a quick thought on Cincyberg before Randy goes, and that's like one thing he didn't inherit was a good salary cap situation, because he was already like $60 million in the hole. We had to figure out a little fix for that. Randy?
I would say he had a pretty good cycle last season, but I think the moves made paired with his imports, I'm going to go with the New England Patriots. I'm a big fan of Travion Henderson, and I think he's going to pan out really well in real life. as well as for lost having, because all last cycle it was the Rusty Star show. He didn't have, that X factor in the backfield to take some pressure off him. And then they brought Stephon Diggs in, and then they also got Milton Williams at D tackle, and then he's bringing over that receiver, Taj Ricard, and he's got that 99 overall corner. I think he's poised for a pretty potentially good season. He will have to deal with Joker since he's gone, so that's a little bit of and then Kobe's back, so we'll see. But I think the Pats could have a good season, good cycle.
Jay Bowles, Jay Glaze, those are two that come to my mind. I feel like Jay Bowles is going to have just a much better team with that running back and that tight end, and he's bringing over their quarterback, so he's going to have some tools to play with there. And then Jay Glaze, Broncos are going to be one of the best teams, if not the best team, right out of the box. So add in imports to that team. He's going to have a lot of tools there he can play with.
I think the Chargers are another team too. Mr. Trey puts his little stamp on it. They've got some good pieces. The running back they just drafted out of North Carolina, the Omar Murray Hampton. He's a big dude and he's fast. I think that with a running game like I've seen Trey do before and playing off his play action pass, he's got a pretty decent tight end crew as well. He's got a young rookie out of Syracuse, Gatson, the second. He's a 70 overall, but he's 86 speed, 88 acceleration. So he's got a good offensive line too. And you can't look past the quarterback. So I definitely think the Chargers are going to be a good team.
I want to say this to Big Hurt with this backwards hat on. It looked like one of those Egyptian little round hats, the little thing on the top, or a real bad do-rag. I couldn't figure out what was going on there. What? Oh, no, you don't have to flip it around. I'm just picking with you. What? At least your hat fits. Mine doesn't even fit. What owner switch shocked you the most? I'll admit it. I've already said it to him 100 times. I tried to talk him out of it. I have no clue what Maniac's thinking. My guy, again, has already deleted this game before we even got the official invite to the CFM, and he went and put himself in one of the worst divisions to stay happy in that you could possibly add yourself to. That one shocked me a little bit, but what owner switch shocked you the most? That's coming from Nice Hunger.
Honestly, I think what shocked me the most is Trey leaving Washington, because I think Jaden Daniels with Trey could have been like a monster in the making. And just like giving Daniels the right pieces, Daniels being on the second year of a rookie contract, like that could have been a really, really, really scary team. And it would have been interesting to see with Trey's team building skills, building pieces around Daniels, what he could have done to maybe dethrone or give Wayne as much trouble season to season. But I think where Trey likes to be is not with that style. So, I mean, I understand it, and I think the division is more wide open, whereas you're not staring down the barrel of D Wayne or D Money. I don't think anybody wants to. So, but I think that would be one. And then I would say another one that kind of shocked me was honestly Cincy leaving the Jets, just because I think since he kind of found his rhythm with the Jets and coming to the NFC and getting the Falcons, as much as like that team's built, he had Sauce Gardner, he had guys like, where that team, like he could have brought McDimes over and basically just been right back into where he was with Lowry and having Sauce that complete like shutdown corner, you don't have to import a corner like that. So, I see where Cincy went as going to the Falcons being so much an upside, but at the same time, I feel like it was kind of a shock too.
I think for me, I wouldn't say it's shocking in terms of like, what are we doing? But just it was a quiet move that I didn't even realize happened until a few days after it happened, and I was like, huh. But crazy and D Money switching was definitely not something I had on my
Wayne
bingo
just
card.
said that in chat.
Yeah. Ever since I've been here, I joined at the beginning of Madden 23. D Money's had the Niners, and like, I mean, for the most part, they've been top 3, top 2 team here. And so I just thought it was interesting. I mean, I know you need a fresh change of scenery and whatnot, and that's not his favorite team, so he had no emotional ties to the Niners, but that definitely took me by surprise. And we'll see if Crazy can get things rolling in San Francisco better than he could in LA. I think he's got a pretty solid team to start with. So
on that note, I think D Money, if I don't know because I haven't talked to him, but I think he straight up got out of San Francisco with Brock Purdy's contract. Being Brock Purdy's contract and not being a quarterback that D Money likes, he was like, I'm out of here. I don't want to, he brings his 2 corners, his receiver over to a Rams team that a lot of people are picking to be a top 4 team in the NFC right now in real life. You add that with Jared Verse, you add that with Byron Young and Braden Fisk and the other Kobe Young or whatever. His D line is set. He doesn't have to do anything. He's got 2 shutdown corners. He's got speed at linebacker. You add those receivers with Puka Nacua. All he has to do is go draft your rookie quarterback after Stafford for 1 year. I mean, that team's an instant, basically built season cycle team. Whereas I think the Niners, Fred Warner's a tough piece to leave, but George Kittle's pretty much in his, I think, 32. McCaffrey's 29. You got to deal with that contract. You got to deal with Brock Purdy. That's more of a headache, and I think D Money saw the writing on the wall. Like, it just, let me go and have less to worry about and be an instant team to build again. And I mean, like you said, change of scenery is always nice too.
Yeah.
I'm more shocked that Big Hurt didn't move.
After the game came out and the running back situation and having JJ McCarthy, I wish I would have moved sometimes.
What feature? Go ahead, Maniac.
I was going to say, the Cardinals could be open. No, it's just playing.
You have to ship all that gear to him, though, so hopefully that hat will fit him.
Right.
What's your favorite feature that you're most excited to play with in Madden 26? That's coming from our buddy Twinkie. I'm interested in the coaching thing. I still got to figure it out and really dive into it, but that's very intriguing to me.
That's what I would say as well. I feel like we've talked about a lot of the new stuff already, so there's probably not a whole lot we could say that hasn't been talked about, but I have not yet played in a heavy, crazy weather game, snow or rain, and I've heard it's an experience, so I'm excited to experience that, but I definitely want to immerse myself more in the coaching tree and the weekly matchups or the weekly strategy, so figuring out a little bit more about what all that is. I mean, with the Test League games and then the import building, I haven't really dove into that too much.
I'm curious about the draft. To see
I
what
haven't done anything with the draft.
The drafts are like. See how the players come out. I know Roger. He's always been a big draft guy. He always talks about how the draft class that EA creates are pretty bad, and they have been bad in the past. So I'm curious to see about that. Just off-season stuff too. I think just how the free agency works. If it's still going to be very similar, nothing really done to it, or is it going to be something that they've kind of revamped a little bit more So I haven't actually tested enough to do anything in the off season a whole lot. Most of my stuff's been around gameplay, roster stuff. So I am curious about some of that stuff, though. Interested to see.
And on that note, I think very sneakily, even though it wasn't done sneaky, it's blasted out there. Everybody was forewarned, but I think most people are not going to pay attention to it. They won't watch this show and they won't even know. But some changes were made to the settings that I can control. I usually left things alone. I've taken a little bit more finer control. Not only, I don't think I'm in the mode in this league that I have to protect ourselves like we used to in the past, because I've experienced it. Maniac has seen it. I think he was around for those days where guys would quit and literally release the whole roster and jack up the entire CFM. You now can protect that. I don't think we're in that place anymore. We're so more advanced that we're just not in a place I ever got to really, really worry about that. Even though some guys are a little questionable still. I just put a little bit more finer tune control, because the number one thing that drives me insane there's I can't believe you know that name, Dwayne, and remember that name. I think that guy's still blocked on all of my stuff. The number one thing that drives me insane as a commissioner is get to the off season and teams have to add 23 players to their team because they didn't do any re-signs and they didn't do anything in free agency, and they drafted 5 players, and now we're in week 1 and they need 15 players. And as soon as we advance, it screws everything. Like, it drives me nuts. So there are now limits on how many players in the offseason you can move. There are limits on how many players in season you can move. There are limits on so many things, and I'm waiting to see the crocodile tears from DMs and a message of like, why can't I do this? And it's like, well, you should have read the stuff and you would have known that you can't do that. So it'll be interesting. Any other features you guys are ready to get your hands on?
I think for me is kind of the coaching tree like we talked about. And then if they get the abilities things figured out, I think that would be interesting to see how that plays.
Imports. Who from our buddy Randy right here on the show? Who's the import that you think is going to have the biggest impact? Yes, Bird, you do have to read from time to time here. I think the 49ers guys. As I was going through his team, I'm assuming he watches this like he says he normally does, but D-Money, I think you're awesome. I think you're probably one of the most highly intelligent, if not the most intelligent guy in this league. There's no way you didn't tank the entire last Madden when I looked at your team. Guys, he had like 12 99 overall players. He had 4 like 95 plus with 3 99 overall, 99 everything cornerbacks. Like, there's no way that added to the Rams is not going to be one of the most impact, unless he just totally checks out again or totally tanks again for whatever reason to give us a break, which I ain't complaining. I got tired of sending him trophies there for a minute, but I think those guys are just going to be an absolute terror in LA.
I think for imports, I talked about it last year when the guy was drafted. I'm pulling the league up right now. But the Eagles quarterback, I really hope he ends up being something. One for Twinkie, I think the guy needs to have a Rodgers season cycle. And, it was great to see Roger have some success after all of the time and the moments that he's been through. And then he had that success last year for a couple seasons. I think Twinkie's right there. Bringing that quarterback over that he drafted, that guy is Danny Dixon. I think that guy could be like a legend, Hall of Fame quarterback. I would also say for me, the Copeland for the Ravens might be a big impact, just because I feel like the way this game plays for me early on, but Copeland being such a fast receiver and how the Ravens are such a dominant team, like right out of the box, Nipple seems to be pretty motivated and engaged to play again another season and cycle. I think that guy can be a really big impact. And then I already said it, Earl Lowry for Cincy with the Falcons. I think that guy is like, I mean, in real life, you look at receivers, and I got Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson is my top three. I think that's pretty unanimous. But like Earl Lowry's a guy like that, and he just is a complete package. And then you put him in the hands of a guy like Cincy, and then he's going to help develop that quarterback with Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson. Like, that's a scary offense in the making.
Yeah.
So
I'll stay on the receiver train. I think it's Stephen Bayless for the Bengals. So Denver's going to the Bengals back for hit for this season. And the reason why is the Bengals already have T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Now you're bringing over Stephen Bayless, 97 speed wide receiver. Like, you aren't going to have enough DBs to cover those guys. I think that's going to be pretty darn lethal for that offense with an already really good quarterback in Burrow. So I'm leaning with Stephen Bayless. I think he's going to be – he might not have the best stats per se, but having him on the field, you have too much to game plan for. And I just don't know that teams will have that kind of defensive firepower right off a rip.
I think a combination of players that one person decided to bring is going to shake up the entirety of the AFC, and that's with Joker bringing his two receivers from the Cardinals, Roman Compton and Gary Tyson. You're giving Josh Allen two speed demons to throw the ball to. Alone that you have James Cook to be a problem, and you have Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid, who, yeah, they're not big superstar tight ends, but they're still very talented in the receiving game. Those are a lot of weapons for Joker to use, and that's, I think, going to be a huge disruption inside the AFC East, at least, and if not, the AFC entirely.
And Joker, we've seen him. He can put up all kinds of points.
Yeah, I'm kind of. I would say look at the Falcons wide receiver. I think he's going to make a big impact. But looking at how D-Money, he brought in over those two cornerbacks are basically 99 everything. That's going to make it very difficult for whoever has to play him, to try to get any kind of passing game going, because he's going to shut down the field. And the same thing goes for, I think, the Panthers. I mean, he brought in his Super Bowl MVP player. I think Cole won the MVP, maybe not, but he's 98 overall, and then he brings in his safety along with him to help man up the backfield there for the defensive backfield. So Dobbs is a 92. These two guys are exceptional. So you add that to the Panthers' young team, and I think it's going to help Bird. We might actually see for the first time in a while somebody repeat as a champion across two games.
Yep. I had to turn my camera off. I don't know what's happening, but it worked all fine through OMFL Media Days, but now it's fighting with OBS and it keeps turning my camera off. It's just driving me insane. So you guys are just going to have to listen to me instead of see me. I'll have to get it figured out for the next show. Let's stay in that vein, Maniac, and talk about guys that have won championships. Randy also asked, who's the team that has not won a championship that we think could here in Madden 26? That's an interesting question.
Yeah, so thinking of guys that haven't won, I think you have to look at guys like Loss, Sniper. He really actually turned things on at the end of the last cycle. He started really improving a lot, I think, in what he was doing. I think you also have to look at Logan. I mean, he's got his favorite team now, and the Steelers. He could be a definite first timer, and because I'm trying to think, because there's several guys that Colin and Bird, they've won new one. They're the newer championship caliber owners now, so I just think looking at those guys, another one could be Joker. He's got Josh Allen. Joker's been a fan of the Chiefs, and so he's always got Mahomes. Well, now he's got Josh Allen. It's a comparable quarterback to Holmes in a lot of areas. He's got a strong arm, and he brought in those two fast wide receivers. So if there's any streaks to be had, then those are going to be open for him. And if he gets a good offensive, we all know he can play really good defense. He plays on that defensive line, and so he can wreak havoc on the other team. So I just think Joker also could be one that could win one in this cycle.
We've already had several chicken nuggets out here tonight. Maniac ain't leaving no meat on the bone. He's sucking all that meat right off that bone. He was running through the
I got to get every word I can now, before I delete the game again.
I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit one so nobody else has to, Meek Boy. I don't know if he'll ever put it all together, but Meek Boy has always the potential to put it all together.
I was going to say two names, and I don't know if he won one or not, but I don't think he has. Meek Boy's the one, and the one that I wasn't sure, Randy. I don't think you got one.
Yeah, he has.
Okay,
yeah, Randy's got it.
I couldn't remember if you won one or not. I know you've been down to the wire, and I just couldn't remember if you won one or not. I just think with the way this game plays, you got the running back, you've got the quarterback you'll build back up. You got the receiver that you bring over, and I just think you're going to be in the mix of things again. But Meek Boy for sure, with the two corners that he's got, the safety that he gets as a rookie from South Carolina, Imowari or whatever his name is, and then he's got the Julian Love. He's got a complete secondary, and then he's got DeMarcus Lawrence, Bofi Moai. At the ends, Kenneth Walker's again, and then he's at the receiver. The quarterback's quite not there, but I think Meek Boy is going to be in the picture for sure this year.
Yeah, I had been forever since I won one, but I wasn't trying to get low hanging fruit. Someone saying me that, but when I wrote the question, I was thinking Logan in my head, but EX said Logan. So another one I'm going to say, and this, since I've been here, he hasn't won. If he has won one before I got here in Madden 23, I'm going to say Kevin. He had a bad cycle last cycle, but he was so good in Madden 24, and that team got significantly better over the offseason. Bucky Irving had a fantastic season in real life, so I don't know what his overall looks like, but it has to be pretty good. Then they bring over Emeka Ibuka, or however you say his name. That receiving core is just stupid. It's so good. They got playmakers on defense, and I think if Kevin can figure out how to get back to that Madden 24 form, that's a loaded division. But he's talented. We've seen him go 13-3 or whatever it was and dominate. So that'd be my answer.
Little Koch, he says, "Oh, go ahead, Trey. Go ahead."
I'm getting skipped all over this show.
Not
what
skipped.
the heck?
Hey, listen, I give space, and if it's silence, I'm moving on. So you got to jump in there with me.
What, the 2 seconds of space I had? No, I would definitely think that of anybody that's got the best chance, I feel it's Logan. Yeah. He's getting the Steelers roster that he gets to play with ahead of time, so he's going to know how he's got to build them. I don't know if he plans on using Rodgers, but Rodgers isn't the Rodgers of old, but he's still comparable enough to get him some wins. And then, you've got a whole bunch of talent there, especially now adding DK Metcalf. You lose George Pickens, but if you're asking me, I'd rather have DK Metcalf over George Pickens. And then the corner core. You have two of the league's best over the last few years. Yeah, Darius Slay is on the down slipping, but Jalen Ramsey is there. You got a young corner that you've drafted, and you still have TJ Watt. That team is going to be a powerhouse. And in the hands of Logan, we saw what he did with the OK Chargers roster. Getting him a roster like that, it's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, that defense is going to be spectacular. I'm interested to see how he builds that team long term. I think that's going to be the next challenge for him. Mr. Little Koch asked a simple question that I can answer. He says, how are we handling free agent to start the cycle? I think he asked that before I posted about the draft. We're going to do a draft, so we're going to let no one has opted out. So we're going to kick that off here really soon. I'm going to let everybody get in to the CFM, make sure their teams are set before we start doing a draft and make things funky. But that's always been sort of the best way to handle that. And we got all preseason to get through it, so hopefully that'll happen pretty fast. Dimperu says, outside of your favorite teams, what team would you like to use in the Madden 26 cycle? I'll go ahead and say it, as much as it pains me and as much as it's going to excite someone on this call, but I used them way, way, way back in like Madden 7, 6. I don't remember exactly when it was. It's been a very long time. I've always liked their jerseys, and they were just for a fun team to have at a very different stadium that I never get to play in. The Denver Broncos. I'd love to have them, and they would just be a really fun team to play with. So if you couldn't have your favorite team, what team would you like to play with? And don't give me 8. Just give me 1.
Good
16.
I'd say, for me, I've never started the cycle with a good quarterback. So if I could, first one I'm thinking is the Ravens. I mean, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, got some pretty decent receivers. So yeah, I would say a team with a good quarterback for sure. But
for me, it's honestly, I just started talking about them. I made the pitch, but things worked out in a different way that work something else out for me in the future. But I would have loved to have gotten the Steelers. That roster is freaky good, and I would have loved to have gotten my fingers in there using DK Metcalf and crew.
I'm such a middle schooler. Sorry. My guy's talking about he'd love to get his fingers in there, and that just made me laugh.
I'm going to give you an answer, and I think it's going to be funny, but it's true.
Wait. Is there a team that you haven't had yet? Would be the number one question.
That's my answer.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's Cowboys.
No, I would say a team that I haven't had before.
We're going to have to import Canadian teams.
Priest would love that.
Yeah, that.
I love that Priest flipped out today. At least that's how I read it. Maybe he really didn't flip out, but he flipped out today because his third string Canadian quarterback was not on the roster. Like, I've got control over that.
Don't worry, guys. He beat out Sean Clifford.
Honestly,
I know the
to
NFL like the back of my
question,
hand, and I've never heard any of those names he mentioned tonight.
The one team, if I had to pick a team, I would say the Texans.
Yeah, that'd be a fun team.
Give me Derek Stingley. Give me C.J. Stroud. Give me those young receivers with Nick Chubb and Joe Mixon to start the season off with Dalton Schultz. That'd be a fun team to play with.
I think the Jets would be a fun team.
Didn't you have the Jets at one point?
No, I've never had the Jets.
Oh.
So I'm not as bad as you. There is quite a few teams I haven't played with yet. So
wow,
you're pretty close.
That's fired.
Did we get everybody before I get chewed out here?
3/4. So
I think we got everybody. All right, last question for Mr. Cincyberg before we do some debating really quick. He says, how important do you think it is to pick the correct coaching style at the very beginning? So as you're creating your coach, how important is it? I think I don't know. Maniac just did the same thing. I think we'll find out. I've had sort of my feedback about how they've set that up. During all my tests, what up, sports? I did. I laugh because everybody who joins the vertical stream, I know that they're in the vertical stream because it gives you this AI button that you push and it says said hi, which never makes any sense to anyone, but it immediately makes me know this is a person in the vertical stream who pressed a button. But anyway, I don't know. I went player development. I don't know what you guys went with. I'd been going offensive coach, but Dwayne and I were talking today, and I just made the decision as I was hiring, and it just sort of worked perfectly. But New Orleans Saints hired coach Ted Lasso today, and so I went with player development. How important do you guys think it will be? What'd you go with?
I also went with player development as
Same.
they hired me again. But
He said me
yeah,
again.
well, that's what I named my guy Randy Foster.
I usually do too. I just been mixing it up after 25 years.
Yeah, he got in some legal trouble. I really didn't, but my alter ego did. Yeah, no, I think to me, it makes more sense to have a coach that develops players versus having how much different. I mean, an offense or defensive coach when you're going to play one way. If you have more help boosting players, it makes more sense to me. But I haven't dug into it, so I didn't even think about it. I just did player development.
Yeah, I took the development wizard because from what I've seen majorly, your offensive and defensive coordinators will each have the offensive and defensive guru thing. So you'll get, if you're wanting to use those abilities, you'll get those from your coordinators. Getting the development stuff was the key focus that I've come to learn. With the leveling system, you'll unlock more of the scouting information stuff and the development for players. Whereas the offensive coordinators will have the gameplay boosts and stuff that I'll need if I want to when I use my weekly strategies.
I don't really care because by the time I leave the Vikings, I have to pick a new coach, so my points don't matter.
Did anybody not go development? Seems like everybody went development, even in the chat. In the chat, let me know what you ended up going with. That's a little disappointing and sort of speaks to maybe they could have put some more thought into it, right? Like if everybody goes one direction, sort of defeats the whole purpose of having options and the ability to approach the game at a different direction. And it also makes me want to start over and go with another one because everybody's doing the same one. Bill said he went offensive. It'd be interesting to see if anybody went defensive. Can you imagine
if he wins the Super Bowl
defensive
or the
with
OMFL
that
Bowl?
team?
If he wins the OMFL Bowl, then we'll know that's it.
Yeah, well, I'll change. All right. Here's our discussion question. Round table, the winner, you're going to get 1 minute to talk about whatever you want to talk about, but we're laying the seeds for next week's Press Pass Live. The winner's going to get 1 minute of my choosing. Who will be the biggest surprise owner when Madden 26 is all said, all done, all wrapped up? Who's going to be the biggest surprise? Maniac just laughed, so evidently he's got a smart aleck response here.
My replacement.
Damn it, we have the same idea.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to be funny.
We have the same idea. I'm mad.
I'll start it off and say a serious answer as much as I thought that was hilarious. I think this guy has been he's had seasons where he's been really competitive in the past. He's never been consistent, but he's put together some good seasons. And he's inheriting a much better team than he has previously, which pains me to say as a Broncos fan. But he has a really good imports. He has a lot better of a core than he did before, but that's the Las Vegas Raiders and Coach Jay Bowles. I think he's in a tough division. I mean, all of those guys are capable, but he has a good roster. He has good imports, and he's a good player, good play caller, and he's on top of that very engaged. Like he's in the main chat more than I've ever seen him before. So I think that kind of like when you're engaged, when you're plugged in, like you play a little better, you have a little more swagger, you know what's going on. Like I don't know, I got my eye on him this cycle.
I'm going Coach Byron. He's back. He's going to get that team built. He's going to get it going. You should have took it when you had the chance there, Trey. I think Byron's going to shock some people, and I've seen him he was the Panthers for a long time, so I know exactly what he can do in this league, and I think he's going to have that team rocking and rolling. It's going to take him a little bit. I don't think he will build it as fast as Kobe was able to build that team, but I do think he'll get it turned around.
I'm going to say two teams, and I don't know which one. I'm going to say Kobe with the Jets.
Yeah.
And the reason I think he goes back to his new team or his favorite team, I think and we all know what Kobe's able to do. So I say Kobe, and then I say Denver with the Bengals.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Just because Denver is going to have his team. We already talked about bringing Bayless over. You put Bayless with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, with Joe Burrow. That's going to be a tough matchup for anybody. And obviously we know what Denver is capable of. And I just think that's going to be – I think that him having his favorite team, him having that kind of weapon. And then also he's got the import tight end I forgot about too. That's a pretty good, even though he's got Gesicki and Fant, but like he's got quite a few tight ends that he could use. But I just that's going to be a loaded offense for sure.
I just realized it because I almost said something about an hour ago when we started the show, and I was just like, all right, I'm going to leave it alone. If Hurt was any more further right, he would be in the next door neighbor's room. I don't know how he's done it, but he's just floated to his right like an inch every 4 or 5 minutes. I don't know how he does it, but anyway, Trey, you're the last man standing.
I'm going to say a lot of people are going to get shocked because I think we're finally getting a individual going back to what he plays best at, which is running the football. I think Priest is going to shake things up again. Finally start running the ball again.
Wow, that would definitely be a shocker. I mean, he's got his hands full over there in the coach league now, so we'll see how much time he's actually got to pay attention. I think there's a couple of teams that are going to shock players, but here's one that I don't know that people would agree with me, but you got to look at his record the last two Madden cycles. D-Money, and we've already talked about what he's going to do with that team, but D-Money could go on a bit of a run and win 4 or 5 championships this cycle and make all of us very, very depressed, but I think it could happen. All right, now for our 1-minute ramble, it's up to him. He can talk about whatever he wants to. We're going to go to Mr. Maniac because, well, he just made me laugh with his answer. Maniac, 1 minute. It's all yours. Take it away.
I really am. I'm trying to be lighthearted, but I am looking forward to being able to interact with the guys more. I know it's kind of like the off season. Nobody's around. Everybody's vacationing, and we don't have no nipples in the chat. He's off. Wherever he's at, but get him back and cracking jokes and. Definitely looking forward to that. I know a lot of you guys have put a lot of effort into the off season in your teams and stuff, and it is exciting to see like a new game, all the imports, and I will say one name too, Twinkie. I think he's probably gonna be the one that's gonna shock a lot of people, realistically. So. He's got a good team, and so, but you guys, all these guys in here, Nate, and each one of these guys in here, they're all special guys, part of this community, and that's no matter if I ever quit playing the games or whatever, I'm sticking in the community because it's just a great place to be. No matter how many blood pressure medicine pills I have to take because of Madden. So, you guys are great, and it's always a fun place to hang out with guys like this.
It is that time, fellas. The invites are out, and we are ready to go tomorrow night. We are officially rocking and rolling here in Madden 26. I just got a 4 symbol. I don't even know what that means. What does that mean, Randy?
There's 4 teams left to join.
The other night, I was speaking to my wife, and I think I maybe said this on stream. If not, I told somebody this story. We went back home, and we were going to breakfast, taking my father-in-law out to breakfast. They wanted what is, at that point, was not a hot button topic, but since then, it is a hot button topic. We were going to Cracker Barrel, my least favorite place to eat, but you know what? I like their breakfast, so I was ready to go do it. Going to Cracker Barrel, the map was trying to send us left. It was on the right. We could physically see it, and got that settled. Knew that I needed to turn right into Cracker Barrel, and then all of a sudden, my wife goes, "There's one." I said, "One what?" She said, "Across the street." I said, "Baby, there's no Cracker Barrel across the street. It's down the lane here, off to the right." She says, "No, a Cadillac." I'm like, you are having an entire conversation in your head that you didn't let the rest of us into. That happened just now with Randy. He was having an entire conversation in his head, and I had no clue what he was talking about. I was like, is it the 4th quarter? I don't know what's happening right now. He's just giving me the number 4. I've gotten fingered before, but the number 4 fingers was just not what I was expecting to happen right there. Fellas, thank you for getting back on the grind. That's what tonight was about. It's about, like, let's get some thoughts about Madden 26. Let's get back into the routine of Press Pass Live. The summer break is over. The guys have put in all the work to get the imports there. We're rocking and rolling, and let's all go hate this game in the next 4 weeks, because that's what we do. We hate games within 4 weeks of it launching. So there's that number 4 happening again. At least put on a glove next time, Randy. Guys, take care of yourselves. Take care of those around you. Know that you are loved and that you matter. Mr. Trey, I will message you here to see what you want to do. Guys, we'll see you on the next one. Sunday night, 9:30 from here on out, unless I need to go early, but usually that won't happen. I know this is pretty late for Randy, but also kind of early for everybody else. I don't know. We got to figure it out. We'll do our very best to mix it up, but make sure you're here 9:30 every Sunday night. Hit the like button. Come check us out if you're a part of the community. We're an adult gaming community. If you play it, we got a group of people that play it. Come connect, game, and compete with us. Guys, I'm getting out of here. See you. Peace.
Smash that like and subscribe.